Welcome back, winners, to what may prove to be one of the wettest days in Disneyland ever. It has been a torrential downpour for about the last hour, and there was a mad flux of people leaving. So we're going to talk surviving Disneyland in the rain today. It is puddled up all over the park, and it is supposed to rain for about the next 4 hours. I've only got about 6 hours in the park today, so what we're going to do is a little bit of an experiment, as well as talk some tips and strategies for negotiating the park in the rain. What am I wearing? What did I bring for protection, for equipment, phones, batteries, wallets? And what is the park like? What is the vibe in the park when it's an absolute downpour in Disneyland? We're gonna, like I said, it's supposed to stop raining in just a few hours. So we're gonna get a good gauge here on what it's like when it's pouring the rain, and then what it's like late in the afternoon when that rain lets up. So let's go get a little vibe check on Main Street, see what it's like. The park looked pretty gettable earlier today, but we'll see as the day goes on.
Get in. Get in this way.
Sign is back. Vibe check. Like I said, seems like more people leaving than what is coming in. Security was wide open. The entrance line was wide open, but surprisingly pretty thick here on Main Street. And wet. So we will get on into the park. I have got, like I said, some tips and tricks. Going to talk about what I'm wearing, how I'm planning on staying dry, some tricks and tips for layering, staying warm, and ooh, I've got a special treat I've been dying to try for the longest time. That leads us to another conundrum. Where do you eat? There are not a plethora of places that are covered to eat in Disneyland, and when it's downpouring rain like this, that becomes an issue, a factor as to what you get and where you go to eat it. So we're going to try a new treat and see where we can go to eat that. Case in point about where to eat. Not a seat in the house. One of the few places covered, completely covered, and not a seat in the house. People standing by looking to scalp a place to sit. Good luck. Jungle Cruise is currently under refurbishment, and if you know anything about the rides, you know that Indy borders Jungle Cruise, so they've got some scrim up and scaffolding right through this area. Trippy. They've got Indy posted as 45 minutes. It's not. That's definitely closer to a 30-minute wait. The bottles, like I said, usually 40. But our oldest trick in the book. When it's like this, when the line is posted, or looks to be about 30 minutes, Indy's a good choice because you'll spend 15 minutes of that wait out in the rain and the rest of the time inside cover. And this line has lightened up tremendously already. A little bit of lightning lane impact back there, but that's 25-30 minutes tops. Good run. I was on 9 minutes, not the record. The record is 8, but I was in Mama's favorite seat. If you know, you know, she likes to drive the Jeep. There's almost no one in line here for walk-up, so I think I'm going to go ahead and jump in. This is Bengal's Barbecue, and I'm going to create a treat that I've been wanting for quite some time. Yeah, like I said earlier, finding a place to sit and eat is going to be a challenge. Pizza Planet is just absolutely packed, standing room only, not a seat in the house. But I did find this little cast members entrance alcove here, right by sort of the entrance into the main standby and lightning lane for Space Mountain. I don't know how long I'll get to sit here, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to create with the pork and veggie skewers and the cheesy garlic bread. This from Bengal's Barbecue and that from Maurice's Treats. I want to make me a little pork belly sandwich. And tell me that's not a thing of beauty. Yum. I've done this with the beef skewers before, and it's tasty, but you run the gambit with the beef skewers. They can sometimes be really chewy, really tough. It's fine if you're eating them off of a stick, but trying to eat it in a soft, squishy, buttery garlic pretzel roll, it becomes a messy disaster. But I have been looking forward to trying this for a long, long time. Ever since I had the beef one, I figured that the pork and or chicken would be a better choice because they're almost always really, really tender. Whereas the beef, it's sort of a 50-50 shot. I'll let you know. The pork and veggie skewers come with grilled pork belly and asparagus on the skewers. I got 2 of them, covered in a banyan sauce. And this thing is as expected. It is fatty and tender and porky, and that banyan's kind of like a tangy sort of barbecue sauce, kind of. But it's really, really good. It's really, really tasty. It's a perfect combination. Super tender, and I love it. Since I don't know if I'm going to find another place to sit that's dry and quiet, I'll talk about what I'm wearing today, starting from the very bottom. Socks-wise, I've got darn tough merino wool socks. The real advantage to these is that even if they're soaking wet, which I've done here in the park, they still stay very, very warm. I've got Ultra Olympus 5 trail runners, which are unbelievably breathable, which in the summer months is great, but when it's actually pouring the rain, your feet do get wet, but again, with the wool socks, they stay warm. But with the breathability, the shoes do dry out relatively quickly. I've got Duluth Flex Fit Dry on the Fly hiker pants. These are super lightweight synthetic material, and they dry in like 20 minutes. I have been soaked from the waist to the ankles on Tiana's, and by the time I've walked to Indiana Jones or the hub, they've been dry. I'm layered up on top. I've got a merino wool t-shirt as my base layer. So again, if it gets wet, it stays warm. I've got, of course, the omnipresent Darth Vader Star Wars t-shirt. Cotton kills when it's wet. It's not highly recommendable, but gotta stay in uniform. And then on top of that, I've got my Columbia hiker shirt, which is very, very highly ventilated. It is also synthetic, so it dries very, very quickly. And then of course, on top, I am wearing a proper hard shell rain jacket. And in my backpack, I have an additional REI Octa fleece hoodie, which is sort of like a very, very mesh, ultra lightweight, but unbelievably synthetic, unbelievably warm synthetic extra layer. And of course my poncho. I keep the poncho in there for big wet rides like Grizzlies or Tiana's, but if it was to really, really come down a gusher, my rain jacket does run the possibility of wetting out. If it rains like that for like 7 or 8 hours, the poncho's impervious. The only problem with the poncho is that it gets very hot and sweaty, very stuffy. So the name of the game is layers. You know, I've got my ball cap, but the rain jacket also has a hood. But the name of the game is layers. You know, I've got these 3 layers on top right now. I can shed, you know, I can dunk it into the bathroom and lose the undershirt if I wanted to. The merino wool is incredibly breathable, but again, even if it's wet, it stays warm. And yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day has to bring. We had a little pocket of blue, but we do have another squall coming through. And then after that, it is supposed to lighten up tremendously. And that's when we can sort of put to test whether or not the rain keeps people away. And when it stops raining, do the people come? A couple of other tips and tricks. I've got my phone and my wallet both in little Ziploc snack bags. And then inside the outer pocket of my backpack, which is an oiled Fall Raven backpack, it's pretty water resistant. You have to be careful to make sure you keep the flaps over your zippers covered. But in the outside pouch, I've got my spare GoPro battery and a FlexTail battery bank charger, neither of which are waterproof. I also have them in a little Ziploc bag, just as a redundant waterproof layer. So I don't know if you can see that. It's just shy of 3 o'clock. And between 3 and 4, we do have one more little band of rain. I got here just as that rain all started. And I was sitting in the Toy Story parking lot, debating whether or not I was going to get out of my car. It being just at 3 o'clock, let's take a quick gander. Space Mountain at a standard 55. Peter Pan at 30, Matterhorn 25. Roger Rabbit 25, Mickey's at 35. The Falcon at 10 minutes. Wow. Rise back open again. That's 50 minutes. Tiana's, not to be unexpected, 5 minutes. Mansion 25. Let's see. Pirates at 10. Indy at 40. And oh, Big Thunder's closed. Boo. So far, that looks pretty standard for what I would say, a moderately slow day here in the Disneyland Resort. Oh, 30 minutes at Soarin', that's pretty light. Chrissy's is closed. Goofy's is closed, interesting. Let's see, Midway Mania, 75 minutes, indoor ride. And at 75 minutes, a good portion of that line is going to be outside. And credit coaster is down, darn it. Cars, I think Cars closes in the rain. I do not think they run it in the rain when the track is wet. Guardians at 50 minutes. Spidey at 45. Mater's at 5 minutes. Wow, and Luigi's, I'm guessing, is closed because of the track is wet. Yes. So there are several rides that they will close when the tracks are wet. And yeah, right now that looks like a pretty gettable park. Now, this squall is supposed to roll through in the next hour, and then the rain is going to be done, and we'll take another look at, say, 6 o'clock after, you know, mom and pop locals are off work. Kids, a lot of the kids in Orange County are out of school for a mid-winter break. I think a lot of schools or school systems call it ski week. So I expected it to be quite a bit busier than it is right now because of the locals, but we'll see what that impact looks like at 6 p.m. 2 other bits of gear that I brought. I brought gloves. These are Outdoor Research ultra lightweight synthetic gloves because, man, your hands get cold when you're standing around in line in the rain waiting for a ride. And then I also brought a Swedish cloth. This is a sort of reusable paper towel that absorbs something like 40 times its weight in water, and then it is super squeezable, outable, ringable. I don't know what's the word for that. But anyways, for wiping off seats on rides. So if I go to get in Pirates or something like that and the seat's wet, I can wipe it off and then it easily wrings out. Monorail. Right now, I think we're just gonna wander around the park for a little bit, get a vibe, see what things look like. It has actually stopped raining for a moment. But I mean, take a look around. It is just wide open. Let's go put eyes around and see what things are like here at 3 o'clock on one of the rainiest early afternoons I've ever experienced in Disneyland. Both sides of the monorail do appear to be functioning, and you can see what a far cry that makes for the line for when we did our speed run. I'm gonna go see what single rider looks like for this. Not inside tree lamp, that's a good sign. They are left of tree, but just making that quick turn, not into tree lamp. They're probably calling this 45 minutes because it has spilled out into the wild. It's not, that's probably more 35 minutes. But I tell you what is wide open, freaking single rider. I mean, boom. Always a go when it looks like that. 2 minutes. That ties our record. The guy in front of me, literal walk on 1 minute. They have in fact opened up tree lamp, but that's still 30 minutes. For me, that was 2 minutes. That ties the record. The guy in front of me, 60 seconds. I mean, he was basically a dead walk on. That's how this sucker is supposed to run. Let's explore some more rain impact. If it's actively raining, they usually won't be running Storybook, but it has stopped. So it does appear to be open. Teacups always closes in the heavy rain. I will show you why. Because it gets hosed very, very wet. But they are very, very diligently working. They were just out here with the shop vac, actually, I think doing the inside of the teacups. But they are very, very hard at work drying that up. Another tragedy in the rain, Alice in Wonderland. Because I think only because of that outdoor sections upstairs there where you come out and then go back in, but it always closes in the rain. Let's go back and see what's going on in Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, there he goes with the shop vac, getting after it. I hadn't mentioned it, but obviously I'm rolling solo today. Mama and the boy opted not to do Disneyland in the rain, and I think they're missing out. I mean, it poured on me the first couple of hours, there's no doubt about that. But I think this might shape up to be a fantastic day at Disneyland. No objectives today, just observation and science. See what the weather does to Disneyland. And my apologies if the quality of the video is lacking. I'm out of practice with GoPro. I've been spoiled by the Osmo. So sorry if it's a little jumpy up and downy. Disneyland Railroad. Bit of an indication as to how slow it is in the park right now. I'm gonna go put eyes on Rise, see what that's like. I do see quite a crowd of people up ahead of me, but again, pretty light. Rise is currently posted 50 minutes and the line is out into the wild. They are well into switchback 3, not into switchback 4. Oh no, wait, doing line maintenance right now. Looks like they are getting ready to open switchback 4. That's a proper 45-50 minute wait. And I think I'm gonna skip that today. I may come back later, or at least I'm gonna pull it up on the tip board to see what that jumps up to after say 6 p.m. But for right now, even though it's not raining, I don't feel like waiting in that line. Again, no agenda day, lots of research, line science, and general park science, especially as the weather is concerned. I'm just along for the ride, boys and girls. Pretty wide open here at the Falcon Square. Standby is posted 20 minutes, and they are posted up there on the glass. I see people seated. Never a good sign. Single rider it is. Dead walk on. Odd engineer again. Fun run. Dead walk on. 2 minute wait. Fun couple of little families. I came here hopeful to report the 2 best pilots I'd ever ridden with, because for the first half of the ride, they were the 2 best pilots that, you know, save me, that I'd ever ridden with. And then the second half, the left pilot just completely missed the train. He was completely out of the square. I don't know what happened, but they went from 2 of the best to 2 of the worst. Mickey is showing 20 minutes. Let's go put eyes on that. Look how good Disneyland does. It's maybe stopped raining for 35-45 minutes, and they're out here diligently drying off all of these tables and chairs. Look at that. Way to go, Disneyland. Good job. Chains are up at Small World. I wonder if that's because the boats get wet and get incredibly slippery. I'm not privy to whether or not Small World closes when it rains every time, or if it's just a random closure. Anybody know? Leave me a note in the comments. Let me know. Does Small World close every time it rains? Yeah, still posted 20 minutes. Let's give this a go. Well, I found the back of the line. I'll put a clock on this and we'll see. That being said, it is one of the most pleasurable lines to wait in either park.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Only 9 minutes to the concession stand. That's a cool digital effect. And here, you want COVID? Touch anything on this table, because it gets touched by every single kid. And apparently adults are both by it. Case in point. Got pulled out as a one top, 16 minutes. Right to the front. Yes? 3. Fantastic. 16 minutes.
Welcome aboard, folks. Ready for a relaxing ride around the world? How do you do? Victors, don't go wrong.
Nothing can stop us now. I knew someone that would finally make it. We've had one crazy ride. I'm with you by my side. The stars will be our guide, and nothing can slow us down.
Yeah, call to action, 40 minutes. They are out into the wild space. But that was 25 minutes round trip, man. That's a win. I'll take that all day long. Fantastic. Haven't done that in a minute. Oh, it is misting rain a little bit again. Dirty rats. I just put my rain jacket away. Son of a gun. There's one big advantage to a little bit of rain in Disneyland. Disneyland Railroad. Small World appeals to have reopened. Still not very busy. Just now 4:30.
Thanks for joining us on the
Haha! Jumped up to the front row.
Good evening and welcome aboard Excursion 3. For your safety, we can now.
I know you won't be able to see crap, but it sounds neat. This part you'll see. Hey, look, another rainbow.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primary world, land of the dinosaurs.
Rode the train over to New Orleans Square because why wouldn't you take the Mickey Railroad? I'm gonna go put eyes on the mansion. I'm guessing that's probably 25 minutes. They've got it posted as 35, but they're not using any of this portion of the line at all. Now, as long as Lightning Lane doesn't hammer us, this should be a 25-minute wait. Got lucky with the Lightning Lane. 21 minutes to the stretching room. 21 minutes, called it.
We have been unavoidably detained by cranky spirits. kindly remain seated in your doom please.
Is this thing just as bad in the dark as I remember? 5:35 on this lovely, what's turned out to be a lovely Thursday evening. And as suspected, crowds are getting thicker. All right, they're calling at 5 minutes. I gotta see what that looks like. Curious, they just chained off the right-hand side. And that is clearing right out, but they're not even going down past the house. So this could be an actual 5-minute walk-on. If you've been watching any time in the last couple of months, you know that the left side's always faster, but the right side's completely empty. Now we're gonna walk dead straight into the door. They're not even going down past the house. So this is just boom, 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 non-stop. But curious. That might be a record. It was less than 1 minute through the door, and we haven't stopped walking. 3 minutes. That might be a record even when we were closing the park. 3 minutes. I'll take it. I just saw somebody walk by with the Jolly Holiday special. The grilled cheese with hot tomato soup. Oh my God, that sounds so good right now, but I'm still stuffed from that garlic sandwich. Good Lord. Let's go see what's going on with Thunder Mountain Railroad. Calling it 25 minutes. It looks like we are going up and making just one turn, which should be about 25 minutes. 6:02, prime dinner time, and Zoccolo's is wide open. Some of the tables look a little damp, but most of it looks like it's all been dried off and it's not raining anymore. I mean, it's the stars out, but it is wide freaking open. You could see 250 people in there right now. 22 minutes. That was a pretty good guess. Yeah, 22 minutes. I'm gonna film this and edit it, so don't worry about the dark part. I'm trying to edit that out. I'm gonna look at the goat, but you can't see it.
Don't eat that.
Whoa! Riding a sucker by myself in these nylon pants, it feels like it's gonna slide me right out. Just like that. I know that's hard to see. It's bumped up to 45 minutes. But I swear, it still doesn't look like that. It looks like they're still just making that one turn. I mean, we were on in 22 minutes flat. So go figure. Let me take a look around back here. Yeah, so they've definitely grown the queue all the way down there to the end. And that inner is about half full now. I don't think that's 45 minutes. That might be 35 minutes. But maybe some of that, hey, the rain has stopped us after 6 o'clock, is starting to kick in. Let's take a cruise across the hub, see what the hub in that area looks like. I'm gonna go put eyes on the single rider on Space Mountain, I think, or maybe check out Star Tours or something like that. But I really want to get down Main Street and see what that vibe's like, even though that's not really sort of not what this video is about. Over here, just outside of the Pioneer Mercantile, is a little sort of cubby hole called Paymaster. This is where all of the pin traders like to hang out. And inside the Paymaster cubby hole is an actual Chase ATM. I guess maybe some of the pin traders only take cash. I don't know why else you would need cash in Disneyland. But there it is. If you ever need to know where it is, just inside Frontierland. As soon as you go through the gate there, on the left, Paymaster, right outside Pioneer Mercantile. Little vibe check around the hub. I mean, it's hustling and bustling, but again, nothing crazy. I think maybe the rain, and it's cold, like I said, it's pretty chilly. I think maybe the rain just really turned everybody off early. I know there were several people I was talking to that I think were headed home to their hotel, gonna relax for a little bit, dry off a little bit, and then come back later. But honestly, it's half and half. There's just as many people leaving as what appears to be coming in right now on Main Street. There we go. 1.5 turns. It should be 18 to 20 minutes to the ramp, and then hopefully less than 10 from there. So 18 to 20. So I'm hopeful for less than 30 minutes. This is posted 45, so I'm hopeful single rider less than 30. Well, that was super fast. That was 11 minutes in a row and a half. That's pretty good. I'm not going to film the ride at all because the GoPro just doesn't pick up anything except for me screaming like a maniac, and nobody wants to hear that again, right? Check it out. 16 minutes. Man, that might be a record. And roll 2. Holy cow. Check that out. It's like 7:08, something like that, just after 7 o'clock, and they closed single rider. I don't think that post-rain locals showing up effect is happening, at least not this early. Maybe people will come over for the projections at 9 o'clock, 9:30, or maybe for a show over at DCA. I don't know, but they're not here now. It's curious, Space Mountain has now jumped up to 60 minutes, and I made a record run 16 minutes to the second row, which was awesome. But I don't know why they shut down single rider. They had, I mean, the girl that was running the single rider was jamming it. I mean, she was placing as 2-3 a car. That's why it took so little time to get on. But yeah, they've stopped doing it. Curious. Little Tomorrowland vibes for you on what has turned out to be an unbelievably quiet evening. I am shocked. Nobody in line for pretzels. Handful of people in line for churros. I mean, that's walk up. Wow, color me amazed. Well, I've got to kill 20 minutes, and I wasn't gonna do it. It wasn't really on the list. They're calling it 25. It is not. There's literally nobody in line. It's a dead walk onto the door. So we're gonna go do Star Tours and kill 15 of those 20 minutes. Yeah, 13 minutes.
You're right behind them.
No. 24 minutes round trip. That area outside of Star Tours, if all those switchbacks are full, not going inside, not going into detention as it were, into that sort of interior open switchback space, but if all the switchbacks are full outside, that's 25 minutes. Not damn near walking straight in the door. So 24 minutes. It is now just after 7:30. And again, steady, but not nuts. So I guess that post-rain theory of mine didn't hold up on this Thursday evening. But that's probably going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys on the promenade and give a gander for the monorail. But I'm going to work my way back to the Toy Story lot. Little more Main Street vibe. Man, it feels like more people are leaving than are coming in. I am shocked because it has turned out, I mean, it's cool, sort of brisk, but it's not unbearable by any means, and it's dry. I mean, the stars are out, the moon is out, it's gorgeous. But it definitely feels like more people are leaving than coming in. Color me incorrect. Ooh, Starbucks smells good. Well, there we have it, gang. That was 5.5 hours. It was less than 6 hours. 10 attractions. And there you go, look at that. It's almost 8 o'clock and there is nobody in line. I am shocked. I mean, the promenade is empty. Huh. I am shocked. So maybe Thursdays is a vibe. Maybe the rain really did keep everybody away. But I am gonna call that an evening. Hop on the bus, head to Toy Story. I'm looking for the monorail. Well, otherwise, I'm calling that a huge win. And we'll learn something, I think, a little bit. The rain did keep them away, even though it stopped like 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago. So there you go. Take from that what you will. I hope you enjoyed Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you winners later. Oh, wouldn't you know it? On the run, monorail. Yay. Fantastic.